the pizza delivery driver who stole $12 million and vanished without a trace. It was 3:14 a.m. on a fog-heavy night in Chicago when a pizza delivery driver walked into a warehouse that wasn't on his route. He wasn't carrying pepperoni or breadsticks. Inside his insulated bag was a crowbar, gloves, and nerves of steel. By sunrise, that driver had disappeared and so had $12 million in cartel cash. How did a quiet, minimum-wage pizza guy pull off one of the most audacious heists in American history and vanish without a trace? That's the story I'm about to tell you. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, drop a comment with your theory at the end, and share this with someone who loves true crime as much as you do. Now, let's go back to the beginning. The driver's name was Ethan Morales, 28 years old. To the outside world, he was invisible, just another guy in a faded pizza uniform, weaving through traffic in a beat-up Honda Civic with a broken muffler. He worked double shifts, pocketed lousy tips, and lived in a one-bedroom apartment above a laundromat that smelled like detergent and grease. Neighbors described him as quiet, polite, and lonely. No parties, no drama, just work and sleep. But Ethan carried a secret. Years earlier, his older brother, Daniel, had been swallowed by cartel business. Daniel owed money, got involved moving packages, and then disappeared. No body, no police report that went anywhere. Just whispers that the cartel had handled it. Ethan never talked about it, but the bitterness gnawed at him. While everyone else thought he was zoning out behind the wheel, he was actually plotting, not just about survival, but about revenge. The spark came one freezing night in February 2019. Ethan was delivering a late order to a warehouse district on the south side. While waiting for a customer to sign the receipt, he noticed something strange across the street. 3 black SUVs lined up outside a building marked for lease. Men in dark jackets moved in and out, carrying heavy duffel bags. At first glance, it could have been a moving crew, but Ethan saw what others would have missed. No lights inside, no signs, no furniture, just shadows and bags. That's when it clicked. This wasn't storage. This was a cartel stash house. From that night on, Ethan became obsessed. After every shift, he drove past the warehouse, sometimes parking blocks away and watching to the fogged-up windows of his Civic. He memorized license plates, counted guards, noted delivery schedules. He realized the shipments always came Tuesdays and Fridays, around midnight. By 2 a.m., the SUVs were gone. By 3, the place was nearly empty. They relied on fear, not vigilance. That weakness was his opening. For weeks, Ethan prepared. He studied online forums about alarm bypasses. He borrowed a security guard uniform from a thrift store donation bin. He practiced staying calm, rehearsing every step like choreography. His co-workers at the pizza shop thought he was just tired. In reality, Ethan was preparing for the biggest gamble of his life. March 12, 2019. The night was cold, damp, and blanketed in fog. Ethan finished his last delivery at 1:15 a.m., returned the insulated pizza bag to his car, and swapped its contents. Not garlic knots, but crowbar, gloves, and duct tape. He drove 2 blocks from the warehouse and parked. At 2:53 a.m., wearing the guard uniform and carrying a pizza bag casually over his shoulder, he walked toward the building like he belonged. There were no cameras. He had checked a dozen times. The front lock was basic. A twist of the crowbar, and he was inside. The smell hit him first. Gasoline, dust, and the faint chemical tang of ink from freshly printed bills. In front of him were crates, each stacked with bricks of $100 bills bound in plastic. His breath caught. He had imagined 1,000 times, but seeing it, millions of dollars just sitting there, made his hands shake. He moved quickly, loading stacks into the duffel until it strained under the weight. He had practiced this moment. Never too much, never too little. Just enough to escape without drawing instant suspicion. But Ethan was greedy that night. He filled the bag with over $12 million. At 3:14 a.m., he was almost out the door when headlights slashed across the wall. An SUV rolled slowly down the alley. Ethan pressed himself flat against the crates, heart pounding. The SUV paused and kept driving. He slipped into the fog, walked calmly 2 blocks, and vanished into the night. By 3:30 a.m., both Ethan and the cartel's fortune were gone. The discovery came hours later. When guards returned and opened the crates, they found them gutted. Money gone. Chaos erupted. The cartel's Chicago operation was embarrassed, and in their world, embarrassment is lethal. Within 24 hours, the city buzzed with cartel fury. Innocent warehouse workers were dragged away. Storefront owners were interrogated. Even pizza shops weren't safe. Employees were questioned, some beaten. But nobody suspected Ethan. Why would they? He was just a guy who brought your dinner. Meanwhile, Ethan was already on the move. He ditched his Civic in a crowded downtown garage, wiped clean a prints. He took buses, trains, cheap motels. He withdrew only a few $100s at a time. He knew flashing wealth would kill him faster than any bullet, but paranoia followed him. Every knock on a motel door sent him reaching for the pistol hidden under his pillow. Every glance in a diner made his pulse race. He wasn't just running from the cartel. The FBI had noticed too. Large bundles of cartel-marked bills began surfacing in St. Louis, Denver, and Nashville. By April, federal agents were piecing together a trail. But Ethan stayed a step ahead. He used burner phones, prepaid cards, and fake IDs bought off the dark web. He dyed his hair, grew a beard, lost weight. Still, close calls haunted him. In July 2019, the cartel got a tip. A supposed friend of Ethan's had seen him at a Kansas City motel. At 1:42 a.m., SUVs swarmed the parking lot. Armed men stormed room 112, but the bed was cold. Ethan had checked out hours earlier. On the nightstand was a pizza box with a single dollar bill inside. Whether it was taunting or coincidence, no one knows. But infuriated the cartel and unsettled the FBI. Ethan had become a ghost. The last confirmed sighting came in September 2020, an ATM in El Paso. Surveillance footage showed a man resembling him withdrawing cash. The tape is grainy, but investigators insist it was Ethan. And then nothing. No credit card use. No hotel logs. No arrests. He simply vanished. Speculation exploded. Some said he crossed the Mexican border disguised as a migrant, using the cartel's own smuggling route against them. Others believe the cartel finally caught up, burying his body in the desert. A darker theory suggests Ethan never wanted the money at all, that this was vengeance, payback for Daniel. The cash wasn't about luxury. It was about hurting the people who had destroyed his brother. The FBI case file remains open to this day. The cartel still offers millions for any lead. But Ethan Morales and the $12 million he carried into the fog remain missing. And here's where the mystery lingers. Did Ethan beat both the FBI and the cartel, living quietly under a new identity? Perhaps in another country? Did he slip, get caught, and end up in an unmarked grave? Or did he pull off the ultimate revenge, striking at the cartel in a way that still embarrasses him years later? What we know is this. One quiet pizza driver changed the balance of power in a city ruled by fear. And then he disappeared so completely that even the most ruthless criminals in America couldn't find him. So what do you think? Did Ethan get away with a perfect crime? Or did the cartel silence him forever? Drop your theory in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and share this story with someone who loves true crime. Because more unbelievable cases are coming your way. And trust me, you won't want to miss them.